Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. So glad to have you with us. Today we're going to be out in the garden and I'm going to show you how we're going to plant grapevines. Hopefully the birds won't eat all of these. Well, welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. Today we're out in the garden and we're going to plant some grapevines. So I'm going to start you at the beginning of the process. I have grapevines, but I've learned a lot since I planted them. And I planted them on a trellis where we can't put bird net over them. And the birds love our grapes. So what we have here is a big, just an empty spot. It used to have beds here. We didn't till it, but we did level it off because we took the raised beds down. And so I've got about 20 feet, and I'm gonna, that was the royal eye, Fred is gonna put up a trellis. So let's talk just a little bit about the needs for grapevines. Grapevines are not picky. They need a soil pH somewhere between about 5.5 and 7, and I've had my soil tested and the pH is 7. If you have your soil tested and the pH is too low, below 5.5, you want to use some lime, and if it's too high you want to use some sulfur to amend the soil, but you want to do that a couple of months ahead of time. We've also put some compost. Grapes like really high organic matter in the soil, compost, but also if you have some leaves that have been turned in, some grass clippings, we have a little, if you can see over there, we have a little straw that's been turned under, and Fred is just flattening this out so that we can plant our grapes. When he gets the trellis together, I'll be back. Okay, well, the first thing you want to do is establish your trellis. And what we have here is, well, it's what we used on beans. You can still see some residue from beans on it. And we've got it spread out about 20 feet. You want to locate your trellis in a really sunny spot because grapes need lots of sun. And they need a fair amount of water. So we located this in an area where they will get sun all day long. You also want soil that drains well and is not compact. So you can test your soil drainage, by the way. Dig a hole about 1 foot deep, 18 inches deep, fill it full of water, let that water drain out, and then fill it up again. And if that water takes 24 hours to drain down, you've got good drainage. More than that, and you don't. And less than that, if the second hole or the second filling drains right out, your soil is really too dry. So let's get planting. Okay, so we're going to dig a fairly deep hole because we want to make sure that the roots have plenty of room to spread out. This soil is not very hard.
Yeah, here comes the clay.
Okay, so she's hit a hard spot. That's probably deep enough, Penny.
It's like that deep.
Yeah. And we're going to backfill it with just a couple inches of soft dirt, soft soil. Okay, it's ready for the grapevine. Okay, so here's our little grapevine. If you can see, it's got some really good roots, and we want to get those in so that they can spread out. So here we go. Okay, so Penny is pulling the dirt back in, and we're going to fill the dirt, break it up, and fill the dirt right up to cover all the roots. We want the root line to be below the soil line. Those are not rocks, that's dirt. And don't tamp it down. Just gonna fill it up kind of loosely. And you notice I'm not putting any soil amendments, I'm not putting any fertilizer. Everything that needed to be done to this soil was done before we planted. This is 2 gallons of water and we're going to use it all. Okay. Well, Penny and Mary did all the hard work. I did the direction. So we have 3 grapevines planted for this 20-foot trellis. And no, it's not overkill. The last time I planted grapevines, I planted them way too close. So we don't expect to get anything from these the first year except vine growth. With our other vines, we got some grapes the second year, and hopefully we will from these, but it's more likely going to be the 3rd year. As they grow up, we will tie them, train them around the trellis, and they'll make a nice shade for us in the summer. And ooh, I hope they make some great grape juice and grape jelly. So thank you for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. I hope this was helpful.